Hey, what's up everybody? Got another build video here for the Storm, and this is after the day 1 patch came out, which fixed a lot of things. Inscriptions are now working, all sorts of things that have been tweaked, minor, some major, some were nerfed, some were fixed, buffed, whatever. But it enabled some new builds, and I messed around a little bit last night and found a nice new electricity-based build. And I'm going to show you that. It's really strong. First I'll go over the skills that I'm using. My blast seal is the upgraded lightning strike. I have two different versions. I've got a masterwork and a legendary. You don't need to have either of these, but it'd be nice. I'd really like to find one of these that has double charges, so you actually get 2 strikes. But this one here has the bonus thing for the legendary or masterwork is Raptor's amplitude. While hovering, electric damage is increased by 60%. So that's really nice. Storm's pretty much always hovering, and it didn't roll the best stats, unfortunately. Electric 40% effect and some support or some luck on the support. But other than that, the stats kind of suck. I would prefer something that increased its damage, increased its charge rate or speed, or increased its charges, so you could have 2 of them. Like say this one here, how it says gear plus 100% charges. That lets you pop the skill twice and have two separate charges. Now I have this one. It's got a little bit better stats on it. It's got E speed and gear speed. Gear is going to give this skill itself cooldown reduction, and it will give the E skill cooldown reduction as well, but this has a lot more damage, so this is the skill I'm going to be using. My focus seal, which is really important for this build, is Chaotic Rhyme, upgraded frost shards. You fire a stream of target-seeking ice shards. I'm pretty sure everyone's familiar with this. That's what it starts you out with. But the Masterwork version is Winter's Boost. After freezing an enemy, it increases Q slot damage by 125% for 20 seconds. That is massive. This thing adds a ton of damage, and it lasts for a long time. 20 seconds is nice. So all you got to do is freeze them, and you're good to go. Fortunately, this rolled Q, which is 25% speed. My Q is my lightning strike, and it's really important to have a good amount of cooldown reduction in this build. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting there waiting, and you don't want to have to do that. The weapons that I'm using, these aren't as important because you're never going to really be firing, but you want to find things that basically use them as stat sticks, have good inscriptions, and buff your skills. This one here has Q, 28% speed. That's the only reason I'm using it. I don't ever intend on actually shooting this gun. And then I have a Wyvern Blitz. This one also rolled Q speed, but more importantly, this inscription here, shield plus 100% max, that is fixed. So I'm using this because of the speed and the shield, and it has luck. So all those are nice. And while hovering, increases weak point damage by 40%. Not as important, but still nice. You could also pair this with a component that I'll show you, but I've chose not to actually incorporate it. As far as components go, my top one here is Elemental Synergy. Everybody should probably be using this. Increases gear damage by 50%, but lowers recharge rate by 20%. Unfortunately, you lose cooldown reduction there, the recharge rate, but it's worth it. That's huge damage. Next, we got Elemental Empowerment. This is kind of like the opposite of Elemental Synergy. Increases your gear recharge rate by 50%, lowers gear damage by 20%. So when you wear both of these, you're gaining 30% of both, the cooldown reduction and damage. Great. Chaos Core. Even though it says blast damage, in all my testing, it's all the damage that I'm dealing. So I think they've misworded this. It's more like AoE damage, more just like damage. Increases your damage by 35% of base value. Real nice. I have a support roll, a luck roll on it. And then as far as my masterworks, I'm running Token of the Master. This is basically a Chaos Core, and you can actually double stack these. When you have Token of the Master and Chaos Core, you can wear both of them, and they'll both increase your blast damage, but hitting an enemy with E increases Q damage for 60 seconds. When I use those frost shards, it's buffing my lightning by 60%, which is really good. Token of Daring, which is the version of Elemental Synergy, increases elemental damage by 35%, decreases physical. Oh wait, I take that back. This is actually a different. This is actually a different elemental. I think it's elemental something. I forget. We can look at it maybe. This one increases elemental damage by 35% and decreases physical damage by 35%. Since I don't use my bullets very often, this is not a bad trade-off. And a shield break increases seal damage by 20% for 20 seconds. And you're going to be popping shields very often with this build. It's actually really good at breaking shields because of the changes that they made to lightning with the day 1 patch. And it's nice. So this is what I chose to use there. And Mark of Wrath. This is the one that's like Elemental Synergy. Well, it increases gear damage by 50% and lowers the recharge rate by 20%. But while E recharges, Q damage is increased by 50% for 5 seconds. That's really nice. That means if E is on recharge, you're actually going to be dealing 100% more damage. Only downside is my E is considered frost shards, and you don't actually get the Mark of Wrath buff until you spend all of them. There's 10. You gotta hold it down. Kind of sucks, even though it's still on cooldown for certain charges. Frost shards in particular, as well as a couple others I've tried, actually require you to completely spend all your charges before you pop this, and then it lasts for 5 seconds. My support seal, normally I use Quickening Field, but now that they've fixed inscriptions, this Q plus 18% damage is actually going to be buffing my main damage dealer, which is the lightning bolt. So I think that covers most of all that. As far as weapons go, like I said, you can use whatever weapon you feel like using. You're not going to be firing very often. I wish I had a better Devastator or Truth of Tarsis, but mine rolled really bad. It's great for dealing damage, but the stats below are really bad. I would much prefer that over this, but like I said, mostly just using these as stat sticks. As far as if you don't have these other masterwork components, you've got options like even something like this where your ultimate damage is increased, or you can look at things that are increasing your Q ability, recharge speed, or damage. Those are really good. Or just like you can throw random ones on that have good inscriptions. This is nice here if you're feeling real weak. Elemental resistance. What else do we have here if we weren't running those masterworks? Elemental Conduit. That'd be one that you'd want to run. It's the one that I was saying that I replaced with I forget what it was called, Token of Daring. And you don't really need the physical damage, so that's kind of worth it. Elemental Conduit would be a great one to have in the build. Lightning, the lightning one, where is it? It doesn't seem very good. It only adds like 5%. I actually think I broke it all down, and I haven't had any good luck with adding the lightning component to the build. Here's another one that's potential. Tome of Precision. Sniper rifle weak point kills increase electric damage by 60%. It is nice, but it doesn't last long enough. If this was like 10 seconds or so, then I think it could be worth it. But to have to kill something and then get that damage buff, by the time you kill something, you're going to want to then use your frost shards. Dump all of those to get your huge buffs with those. And then you're going to want to use your lightning. But by then, this is worn off and it's kind of useless. So this is the equivalent of the shock inscription, or the shock component that I was talking about. Increases electric damage by 5% and electric effect by 5%. I feel like that needs to be buffed because 5% is just not enough. Kind of disappointing compared to some of the other. Maybe, I haven't tested exact damage numbers. Maybe this isn't base. Maybe this is a multiplicative of all damage or something. But I've chosen not to use it just because it doesn't last long enough. And I think that covers it. There's new appearance items in the store. If you haven't checked that out, I've got a video that goes over that. And I'm going to be making some other videos on more builds, so don't forget to check back. Hit that subscribe button or check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/InigoMontoya. And I'm going to show you some gameplay of this. Stick around. Thank you very much. Alright, so what I was showing you or talking about earlier was that you actually need to dump all of your frost shards to get that Mark of Wrath boost. My cooldown is really fast on these, so I get all 10 back real quickly, which is not too bad. And the cooldown on the lightning strike is also pretty good. I could use a little bit more so that I could do a constant flow. I need maybe 1 or 2 more pieces. I think like 1 more piece. But as you can see, the rotation, there's not much downtime. It looks like about a second or so. Let's check this damage out. Keep in mind, I think damage numbers are broken. I noticed I have a scout rifle that deals electric damage, and the number that it says is way less than what it's actually doing, and I feel like lightning, I don't know if it's just lightning or what, but I think some of the elemental damage numbers that we see are not actually accurate. Alright, let's hit that guy. Boom, 1 shot. This is Grandmaster 1, by the way. And it's doing some serious damage. I think it's reading 29,000 on that guy. But it's one-shotting these elite scars with shields. I feel so much stronger now too with the buff to shields. Well, let's make sure we got our sniper rifle out. Yeah. Let's see what it does to this enforcer. Not as good, but oh, actually taking some damage here. Oh no. That was a close one. Got a little bit sloppy. But yeah, as you can see, it does some serious damage. It's not one shot in the enforcers, but my super does. This is, again, Grandmaster 1. And I'm actually really liking this. I like this better than my other build. If I could just get 1 more piece of cooldown reduction, I think that would do the trick. Look at that. That just dumped, I think, 3 of those shielded scars in 1 shot. This is really good. I'm like, I only messed around with this for a few minutes last night before I went to bed. But man, I am happy with this build right now. I'm really glad that the downtime is nearly non-existent on my Q ability. Like I said, I think I need maybe one more piece of Q speed. And yeah, there it goes. Give it a try. You don't need all of the pieces of gear that I'm using to make this effective. I think the most important thing is probably the frost shards, as far as what's making it do so much more damage. Dumping all of these to get that huge Mark of Wrath boost. Actually, no, not the Mark of Wrath boost. It's actually just the freeze. All you gotta do is freeze them with frost shards, and you get a really nice buff. I forgot about that. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out my other videos. I'll be releasing a constant flow of of builds and videos and exploits or whatever we find, farming methods. And don't forget to check me out, Twitch TV/Inigo Montoya. See you around, guys.